Yo, welcome to Pick Central. Today is Wednesday, June 4th. I had to double check that June 4th. I got myself, got Hubs, we got Jason in the back, Liam in the back. But the NBA Finals are here, and as you know, we're always presented by DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings. The NBA Finals are here. They start tomorrow. It's our last chance to bet on the NBA until next season. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is pulling out all the stops to make this finals to remember. He said one team will be crowned champion, the other will be lost to history. But who do you have winning it all? Put your hoops expertise to the test. Like I said, listen, it can be games, it can be props, series props, series player props. They got everything. Like I said, it's a go-to spot for player props. And who's going to carry their team to the chip? Try placing a bet on your personal MVP. Like you said, you can bet MVP. We went over a bunch of you can bet who's had the most rebounds in the series, points, assists, whatever it is. There's head-to-head matchups. If you're ready to place your first bet, download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets and finish the season as a winner. And here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets. If your bet wins, like I said, it's $300 in bonus bets. If your bet wins, don't miss your last chance to bet on the NBA this season. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Picks Central, PICKSCENTRAL. That's Picks Central for new customers. Get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Shout out DraftKings. Wild day. Wild 24 hours. I'll just get right to it. We don't have no filler. No, I'll give context. I was recording Spinning Backfist. I was live on Spinning Backfist. We were kind of like the last 10 minutes-ish to 15 minutes of the show. My phone started blowing up. Didn't really look. It was kind of like I was doing the show, and then all of a sudden I see get the Bleacher Report notification that's just like Tibbs fired, and I was like, holy shit. And I guess I'll toss it to you right away. Like, give me the initial knee-jerk thoughts when it happens.
Kind of sad, and it's weird because if usually when your coach of a team gets fired, you're like, yes, finally he's gone. Like, I didn't get that I get it, and I can definitely wrap my head around why this is the right move. But I was I don't know, Tibbs has done so much for the franchise. This 5 years, what the franchise that he inherited, the whole conception of what the Knicks are, he changed it. So he's done so much, and I get it. He only made it to the conference finals, and he didn't win anything. We didn't get to the finals. Sure, you want to look at it that way and be very evil in a way, fine. But for what he was able to turn this team into a perennial playoff team, which wasn't a guarantee before he got here in any way. Nope. We'd be lucky if we strung together 2 in a row. And what, did he make 4 of the 5 years made the playoffs?
Yep.
You get to the conference finals.
I think 3 of the 5 won a playoff series.
You build an identity with the Knicks. This defense team, obviously the defense not this year because of the different personnel, but last year it was it's just gonna be a fucking rock fight to play this team. So sad, but I also understand it and in a way support it as long as whoever they hire next, I agree with. I'll say this: I don't know if you read the Ian Begley article on SMY. Basically spells out if they don't get Johnny Bryant, the options are bleak, and I don't really know what they're doing. So I feel like this has to be they're trying to undercut the Suns because Johnny Bryant is apparently former Knicks assistant, top assistant, went to the Cavs. There's reason to believe he's a big part of the Cavs becoming this team, and their offense being nuclear. So it feels like they're trying to undercut the Suns. If they don't do that and he goes to the Suns, oh boy. I didn't love the name. He was dismissing a Jay Wright, a Danny Hurley. He was saying that's not happening. And he didn't think Mike Malone's happening either. The options aren't great. So I just hope if you make this move, you got to have a plan. I feel like there's got to be a guy waiting in the wings. I'm hoping that's Johnny Bryant at this point.
Well, that was my knee-jerk. I guess I'll go back to the very beginning of just my initial thoughts on it were, I think you touched on it a little bit. I think my indifference on when like you said, usually when your coach gets fired, there's a big reaction one way or the other. Either sometimes there's been coaches that get fired and you're really mad about it. They're like, why did they get fired? Yep. And this is a guy where he fits that bill in terms of how much success we've had. And like you said, this team was a dumpster when he picked them up. Yep. And he's raised them and brought them to this point of Eastern Conference Finals team, perennial playoff series winning team. So we owe a lot. It's not by any means a celebration, But it's like you said, you understand it because Tibbs, he does have a little bit of the MO of like, he's not willing to kind of like go off his way. It's kind of like his way or like, it just, he's not going to change the way he does things. He's kind of set in his ways. We saw a lot of that stuff kind of come to fruition in the playoffs, the rotations, and even obviously like going back to like March, I think it was Bridges talking about like, we don't need to play guys this many minutes. Like we had, like him basically saying, I trust the Landry Shamit's and I don't even know if Delon Wright was up yet or he was like kind of back and forth, but
he just knows like
we just have other guys, Deuce, and we just have other guys in this team who like they can go out there for 15 minutes in the regular season game, but we don't have to just burn everyone out.
And I think Tommy Beer. Did you see Tommy Beer's tweet?
No, I didn't.
Very good Knicks follower.
Yeah, he does. I've known him for a while, or just not personally, but like I've seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, he summed it up well of like why you should be okay with a change here. So I'm just gonna read it for word for word. Really is almost unbelievable that Tibbs played Deuce McBride alongside the other 4 starters in place of Hart for less than 50 minutes for the entire season, playoffs and regular season combined. It seems impossible, mind-boggling, yet somehow it's true. Here are the total minutes played this season by each 5-man lineup. Hart with JB, Bridges, OG, and Cat, 1,275 minutes. Yep. McBride with JB, Bridges, OG, Cat, 49 minutes. And the net rating during the playoffs of those units, the one with Hart, a negative 6.2. The one with McBride, plus 15.2. It's just like the fact that he kept that lineup that we all knew, starting lineup that was not playing anywhere close to how it should be for the amount of minutes they were given. It's a microcosm of his stubborn ways, and that mindset, that voice needed a change. And I credit the Knicks for making that change because they're clearly still in. Yeah, I mean, no shit, they're in win now mode. But like the aggressiveness, I appreciate. Yeah. Rather than being stagnant. Like I've been watching, and obviously it's so different. A basketball coach means so much more than a manager. But I've watched Aaron Boone for fucking 8 years now, and it's the same voice. And you know they've made one World Series, and then they got dummied by the Dodgers. And you know the front office, the higher ups are just okay with it. And you know the Knicks here are just like, yeah, despite this historic moment here where we made the conference finals for the first time this century, not good enough. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I think I was so surprised initially, partly because I thought this was almost like a Leon Rose and Thibodeau joint venture. And I think this made it very clear that this like Leon Rose is running the show. Yeah. And it's not, I thought they were much more in lockstep in terms of, I thought like he kind of handpicked Thibodeau, and they were kind of like, obviously he had the relationship with Brunson, and they all kind of like, they like put this thing together. You know what I mean? Like they kind of a two-man job where they just kind of like, they picked their guys and they were strategic, like the Bridges, and they moving off like just kind of everything they'd done I thought was together. But I agree with you. Like I appreciate the sentiment of like where like, just this like Eastern Conference Finals like not good enough. Like we need more, and it's weird because like he obviously had his moments. I think he's flawed, but I think you also like it's hard. It'll be hard maybe to find someone better, but I think it's just you need to like you have to maximize the talent that you have. And the winning window can be so small. Yep. Like even you can say like both sides where like, oh, like the roster is like everyone is like 30 and under, but at the same time like all those guys they're all like 28 to 30. 100%. So it's kind of like the window is right now. It's not like a Anthony Edwards window where it's like, you know, he's got some time. Like it's got to be now. Like these next like 3 years are crucial. 4 years, I guess you should say, are crucial. For sure. So if you think Thibodeau isn't the guy to get you over the hump, then he's probably. I mean, and we've seen it. Like he's brought a lot of teams to this point, and I guess the Knicks have probably been the furthest he's taken a team himself. But I wanted to believe he could be the guy. It seems like he will hopefully be the stepping stone, and you can look back and be like, where we got to the mountaintop, in part because of Tibbs, and he helped us build that culture. We just needed someone else to tweak it a little bit, and And I mean, in me and yours perfect world, I mean, hopefully we look back in like 10 years and he's our Buck Showalter. Right. You hope that then Joe Torre came in and just brought it over the top. Obviously, I'm not sitting here expecting the Knicks to win a bunch of championships, but just one would be nice. Yeah. Going to a finals would be nice. Like I would sign up for that. So I mean, the coaches thing is interesting because I've heard all the Johnny Bryant. I feel like seems like he's I think if they're like odds, he'd be the favorite. But two names that I thought were fascinating by, and the one really I thought was fascinating. I don't know how I really feel about it, but Jason Kidd, I was seeing get thrown out by like numerous people that are like ESPN reporters. I think Begley. I know Isola said it. I've definitely seen at least a few other people say Jason Kidd. So that one was fascinating to me. And then I also, this morning for the first time, heard Ime, which I'm an Ime fan. I like Ime. I think he's a very good coach.
Yep.
So that to me was intriguing.
Yeah, I think he got the raw end of the deal in Boston.
I mean,
he still really like
he fucked the wrong guy's wife. I mean,
there's still like no concrete details of how that ended besides that. But we don't know like the name, I guess.
No. It had to be someone.
So
high
Begley mentions both those guys, right after dismissing Jay Wright and Hurley, basically.
Yeah,
and he said that both guys are the Knicks like both those guys 100%, but for the Rockets, they'd have to give you permission to interview Ime, and why the fuck would they do that?
No, fair. I mean, fair.
You'd have to give them like legit compensation, and that doesn't seem like something they're doing. And the same thing goes for Kidd.
Yeah, of course.
So like, why would either of those teams do that? Why would they move on? Now, it would take like Kidd to be like, I don't want to be the man. I don't want to be the coach here anymore.
Well, that's what I thought with Nico. Like, if he's just like, right. I'm over Nico, I'm over this shit.
We've seen like press conference, weird shit obviously went down the second half of the Maverick season that like could you lead you to believe that Kidd wants to leave. So maybe that's the case.
It definitely didn't seem like on the outside that he was thrilled they traded Luka. He definitely.
How could he? What normal person would be okay?
I thought he did honestly, genuinely. I'm not even tongue in cheek. I thought he actually did like a good job, handling it.
Yeah.
But I think there's just a human element that it's like you can only hide so much.
Right.
Like he can't sit here and be like giddy.
Yeah.
And we traded away a prime like top player in the league at like 25 years old.
Udoka, the only way I could see it, because I feel like they got a really good thing going there, and they're only going to get better, and they're in talks for Durant, and who knows if Giannis, whatever. They've got chess pieces to move to create bigger moves here, and they're already in a really good spot. So, like, I don't know why he'd leave unless he tries to stick it to Boston. Like, he wants to be in Boston's division, and he wants
a personal vendetta. I like that.
That's the only way I could see it, and I feel like that's a long shot. So, if you were going to rank one of the two, I feel like it's Kidd would be the more likely option.
Yeah, I would agree.
Would you? So, Johnny Bryant, the unknown guy, or Kidd? Who would you rather? Because I'd rather Udoka over all those guys. I really
would be my like.
But I think it's too much of a long shot here because of the situation they have. But I could see Kidd leaving. So would you rather Kidd or Bryant? So Bryant obviously is the unknown, but like it's the young name, it's the young voice that you're kind of looking for. If you're gonna move on from Tibbs, you want to that type of guy. If you're gonna go the unknown route, you want an offensive mind. Someone who knows how to space the floor and run an offense. Another thing, to go against Tibbs. We didn't run a fucking offense.
No,
man.
not at all. Literally, not at all.
Like, what could this look like? I shit on Bridges. I have this, not vendetta, but it's just dismay of Bridges. But like maybe he would just look better in a real offense. It's entirely possible.
For me, it's hard to say the Bryant thing is as much as like I trust the players and like those guys that they like clearly see this guy in like very high regard. There's a reason that I'm sure he was obviously he was the main assistant under Tibbs. Right. And the Cavs gave him, I'd imagine, like a big bump to like go there and be their assistant. So clearly, guys around the league value him, and I can respect that. But as like two guys sitting here as like fans, like we only can quantify so much like the kind of coach he is. He's never been a head coach, so it's hard for me to like put him over like a Jason Kidd who's like taking the team to the finals and like has had good success as an NBA head coach. So I guess I'd say Kidd, but it's just because I don't like.
You'd rather.
I don't feel like good saying that because maybe this Bryant guy might like Johnny Bryant might.
But the thing is,
he might be like that next guy. But we just I don't
gamble.
Know that.
Bryant's a gamble
for sure.
And this roster,
Absolutely.
You can't really gamble. You got to have more of a sure thing. So that's the fear in Bryant. But obviously, it seems like there's an upside, right?
I mean, it sounds and like he knows all these guys. Or knows a lot of them. Like obviously Brunson, he coached.
Yeah,
and some of the other guys like Mitchell Robinson, he's been there with like his time.
Yeah, like he obviously Towns, he doesn't know.
Yeah, Towns and like Bridges, he didn't coach obviously here, but like,
Hart.
I guess most of the other guys he has like
Deuce, Hart. Yeah. So another part of the Begley article, this thing's fascinating. Go read it if you're listening. But he talks about how like exit interviews, teams do exit interviews, and Tibbs wasn't part of that. It was Leon and Dolan, and it wasn't with everyone. It was select players. So like you got to think Bridges was part of that, right? Because he's the one who, you heard quotes from him about the minutes.
I'd have to imagine it just was kind of their top, like, 8 guys, like 7, 8 guys probably.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if
just the playoff.
Like Towns wasn't part of it because he's getting traded and there's
that would be wild. If that'd be good info to know if that was
just saying that. Like that's not but Tibbs was not part of that and it was Leon and Dolan.
And I guess it was so surprising. Obviously, one, just like the success they had this year, and then two, Brunson was like disgusted at the question, and that was a genuine Brunson answer.
Yep.
He was disgusted at the thought of like basically what do you think about Thibodeau like going forward. He was like, I mean, he wanted to punch the guy in the face when he said it.
He did.
Like, how dare you?
Confused just to get that clip and then to see Tibbs fired.
Like what? Like 48 hours later, not
Yeah.
so like 3 days later, something like that. Like, not. I mean, it wasn't a big gap between.
Now, I mean, reactions after a loss, a season-ending loss, can be raw, and you can't take what people. He's just gonna. Yeah, you're asking me, I want to fire my coach right after the game. No, I don't want to do that.
But the guy that he has a personal relationship with,
but maybe when
you
take a sip, you step back and maybe Hart gives you a call and be like, man, how do we go forward here and build this? And maybe it is Tibbs. Maybe a new voice would be the move. So it's possible that's how it went down.
Yeah, I was thinking. He's a loyal guy too. You definitely can see that with the way, obviously, like all his teammates are like his best friends and that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't shock me that he'd be fiercely loyal. But we've seen, in sports across, all sports, you see guys are loyal to a guy that all of a sudden the other guy comes in. You go, oh, this guy's actually pretty good. And then it changes like that. Like, it's that quick.
Yeah.
So, if it takes one guy, or obviously he knows Johnny Bryant. So, I don't think that would be a big thing. But yeah, I think it seems like Johnny Bryant. I guess I was surprised more when the news came out yesterday. I was like, oh, like, Leon, he must have, like, somebody basically lined up. And that seems like that's not the case.
No, it seems like they're just going to interview a bunch of people. Now, maybe they have a target in mind.
I would you have to. Like, they have to have at least I'd say 4 or 5. That you, like, at least are like, all right, like, one of these guys is kind of like, got to be our guy.
The thing about Brian is that I feel like the Suns are going to announce a head coach very soon.
The Knicks said they were going to, it sounds like they're
going through a real process
here.
They're
take their
and
time.
Those timelines don't match up. Like, there wouldn't be an interview process.
No, but I guess
how does it work in the NBA? Is it like the NFL? Obviously, you have the Rooney Rule, right? So you got to check boxes and you make sure you do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case in the NBA?
I feel like you think maybe there's.
Do you have to do a formal interview process? Because the NFL, you have to. You can't just hire a guy.
Well, I'm thinking.
That's more what I'm asking.
Thinking off the top of my head here, but maybe I'm trying to think if they not had a problem because there's just like more black coaches.
Could be.
There's definitely a good amount.
Right.
Ime, Missoula. Jason Kidd is black. There's a ton of black.
So I'm just saying, like,
it might just not be a thing.
In theory, could they swoop in? I guess and steal Bryant before he decides to do the Suns thing? It's possible.
Yeah, no, they could. I wonder. See, obviously Bryant's in a different spot because for him, I don't think he's like if he gets offered like a head job with like a good big salary. Obviously, I'd imagine he's going to take it.
Right.
Like I don't think he's going to be like, oh, let me like compete with all these other like successful NBA head coaches for the Knicks job, unless he just really wants the Knicks job that badly.
Right. Which
he might. He was just
presenting you the
a year
Knicks.
ago.
I'm presenting you the Knicks job here, where we're like building something legit, and the Suns, who are maybe the most fucked franchise.
That's what makes me think he could wait.
Right.
Maybe. It's clearly so much more appealing.
In the NBA, there's no worse gig I think than the Suns job. Right.
And you're in the East.
Right.
Like you could be there's obviously the Knicks. It's a new Knicks where like there's actual expectations where that was not existent for the last like 20 years before the last like 2.
Right.
So it's a different ball game.
That's true. Like even if the Suns,
but you have to almost think like the roster, even as it is like right now, like if they don't do anything,
they're top.
You're still a top like 3 team in the team in the East, 4 team in the East.
Suns,
no question.
if he would go to the Suns, anyone goes to the Suns and they drastically improve the Suns, you're still probably the 7th seed.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That's like the gap. Like. No one wanted to be that like 10 play-in in the West this year.
No.
And the Suns were trying to get it and they couldn't get there.
You got 11th.
They were like teams were like the 9-10 were brutal and they couldn't get there and they wanted it. It's bad situation and they have no picks. They're
bunch of old like the 2 old guys on.
The only thing you have is like Booker seemingly just loves Phoenix and doesn't want to go anywhere else. Which I can't believe. He's like Bradley Beal's like accepted his brain. He's like, yeah, that's what I did in Washington. I just like wanted to stay here and lose. That's what Devin Booker's doing, and Beal doesn't want to leave either. So you got 2 guys who are names who don't want to leave. That's the only thing positive about the Phoenix Suns right now.
The Suns just seem like they don't want.
Sorry if you're a Suns fan listening.
They just seem like they don't want to bottom out. Like because I feel like if that wasn't the case, if they really just like were willing to do that and just like go the other way, they would trade everyone. Even if
trade Booker, Booker's
that's
what I'm saying.
Like Booker,
I don't think wants to go anywhere.
You trade. I don't know what Booker's like no trade clauses, whatever.
It almost doesn't even matter in the NBA if you have a no trade clause. Like if you're a star and you, like no team's gonna trade for a guy if they don't want to be there. Why would no one wants to, it's a players league, right? It's a players driven league. Like if Devin Booker doesn't want to go, I'm just throwing out Memphis. Then Memphis isn't gonna trade for him.
No, 100%.
So that's it. Almost like no trades don't even matter.
But,
it almost matters for like a little less of an elite player.
But you say that though, and I agree with you. I mean, Damian Lillard just said, "I want to go with the Heat," and they basically were like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I guess.
Like that guy, he wanted no part of Milwaukee. But
Did he say outright, "I don't want to be going to Milwaukee," though?
I don't know if he said that.
I
I don't think he said directly, "I don't go to Milwaukee." He said like, "I want to go to the Miami Heat."
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
And then they basically were like,
you can't necessarily, especially with the aprons, you can't pick your team anymore. But I think you can definitely say, "I'm not playing for that team, and that team won't trade for you."
I'm sure he was willing to like just I can go play with Giannis and like maybe win a championship.
Yeah.
That was the vision, obviously, but he was very clear. Like I think it was.
I get that. Yeah.
It was the Heat or maybe even another team that wasn't the Bucks.
Yeah.
And he obviously ended up there.
Was the Nets involved?
I can't. It was. I just know it was the Heat, and Heat was like the number one. I know for sure. He was like very adamant because I think once that happened, it almost couldn't happen because Pat Riley's too smart to just like bid against himself.
Right.
So he's like, I have a guy that he's said publicly he wants to come here. Like, I'm not going to give you like the kitchen sink because we know he wants to be here. We're not going to just give more because of that. Mm-hmm. So then obviously the Bucks offer a little bit more, and then he goes there. But I don't know. The Suns are a dumpster, but. I just wonder, I guess, how long, when they say, like, how long the process is, are they doing interviews, like, starting, like, this week? Like, are they, like...
You have to.
Is it like, is this thing going to get announced in, like, a week process? Is it, like, a month process? Like, I wonder what the, like... Because I'd imagine you would think you'd want the coach before the draft. Not that they're having a ton of input on who you draft, but they might. I mean, at least a little bit.
A little bit. Not like
and the draft.
I mean, it's not like the Knicks are picking like top 10. You know.
Of course. I guess they only have a second rounder. I guess.
Yeah. So I
guess that's fair. I guess they only.
Well, the one thing
they have like the 50th pick.
The one thing is trades go down before right.
Sure,
around
of course.
So like
and I thought he's done good with. I thought Leonard's done a good job with those. Just like move back a couple spots, like grab a couple second rounders.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought last year he did a good job with that with like Dadier, where he like moved back, like grab a couple picks, like just especially that we've given up so many assets in the last couple of years. Like try to get a couple back where you can, like steal a couple.
It'll be weird next year with a different coach who like tries to play the young guys, like a Kolek, a Dadier. Not saying these guys can be impact players, but they're gonna get run if they're on the team.
The little I always see a Dadier, I like it.
Yeah.
The very small
like,
dose.
I think you're gonna see like. I think we were so trained to like he's never playing, but like other coaches would just play him. Well,
especially in a regular season, like you have like even because it's. I think the thing that Tibbs lost is, and you can appreciate about him that he takes every game so serious, but like in the Eastern Conference, you have to take a step back and be like realistically, like we're a playoff team, we're a top 4 seed playoff team, like play some of those guys in like. I'm not saying like a minute left in the game, 2-point game, like put them in. But I'm saying like put them in like real minutes. Like don't just play them. You're up 30 against the Hornets in the fourth quarter. Like play them in the second quarter. Like play them in like real minutes. Like in these games that like obviously they all matter. You got to make the playoffs, all that. But like you can play those guys a little bit. They're not just total like nothings. And if they're nothings, then they stink and you find out. You know what I mean?
This was the minutes from they played the Celtics down the year, like 3 games left in the season. They went to OT, they lost. Bridges played 38, OG played 41, Cat played 43, Brunson played 38, Hart played 48. Hart didn't sit.
Crazy.
Mitch is, granted, I understand the Mitch minutes because they were easing him. So he played 16, Payne played 14, Deuce played 21, Landry 7. That's it. That's not, like
Shamit needs more minutes.
What are you doing in the regular season? What good does that do? Also, what you just said, the game didn't matter. The seed,
yeah,
they were
let
locked
them
in the
play
seed.
a little bit. Yeah.
Like, why are you playing this like it's a playoff game?
I just think they need to get real minutes, like just real, not like garbage, not even garbage minutes, like true, like second, third quarter, like real minutes, like in the real game. Like just see what they are, because I think so much in sports too is just like I think you'll see guys like maybe some guys might play better in the game, or some guys might play worse in the game than they do in practice. But I think young guys like that, like you got to find out, like it's like trial through fire.
Yeah,
like you got to just like throw them out there and see what happens. Like some guys are gamers. I think we saw that with Deuce. I think he finally put Deuce out there, and Deuce just showed out, and he eventually he earned a spot in the rotation.
But then he didn't.
And even him, he doesn't get enough minutes.
Yeah, he didn't get
even a guy who's clearly shown I'm good enough.
I think that's really it. If you look at,
I guess even Deuce, it was odd through injury, where he played a lot, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, this guy's good. Let's play him more.
Right.
And then he still doesn't.
But to not change that shit. Yeah, I see why they fired him, man. It's a tough gig. It's as Dave put it, cold. It's a cold world. And he was trying to mock us, but you know what?
I appreciate it. I've said it a couple of times. I think it shows that we're here.
Yeah.
Dave would never make a video about the Jacksonville Jaguars or like whoever. Like the Knicks, when he's ever made a video about the Knicks in the past, like a real video.
Oh, for sure.
Multiple videos. It's because the Knicks have arrived. We're like, all right, they're a real like Eastern Conference contender.
Yeah. Also, just wait till the Red Sox fire Cora at some point this season, and they throw him out. A guy who brought you a World Series championship, and probably isn't the reason they're losing games, but they're probably using him as a scapegoat at some point. That'll change your tune a little bit.
Yeah.
Sox are a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they're bad. Really bad.
Also, another one. I think they've lost.
I saw yesterday, I think 50% of their losses are by one run.
Yep, they have 17 one-run losses. And they're the last two against the Angels.
I'm going Friday, too, and I can't wait to.
Oh, yeah, Yankees Sox. We got Yankees Sox back-to-back weekends.
We haven't played them at all.
I know, crazy. I kind of like that they did almost like a home and home, like a couple in Yankee Stadium, then a couple at Fenway next weekend.
Yeah.
I like it.
I hate it's like the one thing that can spark their season is like playing us. And getting up
Sunday night, back-to-back Sunday night baseball.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking war.
You going to any games this weekend?
I really don't decide ahead of time. Like Friday, if it's nice out, I'll probably get tickets through.
It is. Baseball tickets are easy. Shout out Game Time. They're the best.
Like Game Time is legit built for that stuff. This isn't even an ad. It's just like really, it's just perfect for it. And I really don't. Similar to my gambling, I don't place bets hours before games start. I place it right before they start. Like that's when my mind locks in. Same thing with buying tickets. same sort of.
I've always said that too with betting. For me, it's either like really early, or I have like these like epiphany moments, sometimes moments before a game, or like 30 minutes before a game, especially like NFL stuff, where like you're thought about it all. I'm like in the lab like all week long, like thinking about it, like looking at matchups, like whatever things I'm like looking at. And then just have like a moment like right before the game. And a lot of those, I'm telling you, where I'd have most of those moments was like prime Rodgers Packers.
Okay.
Because he would always be so chalk. And as like an NFL bettor, I'm always like so contrarian. I love being contrarian.
Yeah, me too.
And he would constantly, like, I would just have like a moment where I'd be like, why am I not just laying this like 5 in Lambeau? Like they're going to win by 3 touchdowns. And like, I feel like a lot of times when I do that, it would work.
And they would be the 425 game. So like,
absolutely.
It's like truly a last minute.
Like I would just sit there and I'd be like, of course they're going to beat the Bears by 3 touchdowns. Like why am I sitting here like not wanting to lay like 3?
Yep.
Like 4.5. I'm like, they're going to win by 1,000.
Yep.
And they usually would.
Yep.
But honestly, this week is, I don't know if there's a crazy week of like concerts and shows and like things in New York area this week.
Really?
There's Post Malone Jelly Roll today at Citi Field.
Huh.
I'm going. I'm very excited.
Sick.
Lil Wayne Friday at the Garden.
Whoa.
He announced Carter 6 and is like, it's dropping on Friday, then doing the Garden.
I didn't know that.
The Weeknd is doing MetLife on Saturday.
Wow.
UFC is Saturday in Newark.
Okay.
Shout out DraftKings. I think
you going to that?
Me, Bob Fox, and Jersey Jerry going.
Event man.
I'm low-key. I'm trying to go to.
Wait, is this?
Lil Wayne's my favorite. I'm trying to do the trifecta.
O'Malley?
Yeah, sure.
Against
Rob rematch.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm trying to do Wayne too and have like the week of a lifetime.
My buddy's
Wayne's like my favorite.
We're doing a bar. He's about to have a baby. We're doing a bar crawl for him right before the baby pops
that's
up.
sick.
And we're just gonna lead it into UFC.
That's
not
awesome.
go, but like just watch it at bars.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'll say to even someone of you that's just like a sports fan, best live sporting event there is.
I've always wanted to go.
It's in person. It's like I went for the first time. It was UFC 260. It was here. It was Usman. It was like Usman Covington 2. And I went to that event and I said, anytime they're within like 200 miles of like New York, I'll be there.
Did you have good seats?
So I preach this to everyone. Like obviously you get close to the cage, like it's incredible.
Yeah.
But I swear I've been to a few of these and it's like the best. Like the first few rows of the second level is like I swear it's like the best seat in the house. I'd prefer that over. I've sat in quite a few, like kind of like the middle-ish of the lower bowl, and it's like a good seat as well. But that like twice I've sat like first row of the second level. And it's like a bird's eye view of the cage. It's unbelievable.
Similar to that,
I stress to everyone. I like tweet whenever anyone asks me that too. I'm like, first row, second level is an incredible seat, the best bang for your buck. Of like, I've done multiple arenas. It's awesome.
That's good to know, because that is very useful. Similar to that, when people ask me like they're out of town, they're coming to a Yankee game, like, hey, like I'm not trying to like spend an arm and a leg. Like, where should I sit? I used to tell people. Behind home plate, third level, like row 1.
Yep.
You used to be able, it's more expensive nowadays, but it used to be able to get those for like $50, $60. And it was just you see everything you need to, and you're not far away, and it's just like value-wise, you can't do better than them right there.
I've been to Rangers games, and I think I would agree with Ev. It's kind of similar to his take on UFC. I think like this of the second level, because you're like kind of above the ice there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have like the glass, like the thing that I like with the UFC is like that thing, like it's like you're just perched like right over the cage.
Yeah.
Especially if you obviously like it's more expensive, less like if you get like more like the 50-yard line, if you will, of the cage, you're just like dead on with it. That it's like you just see inside it perfectly. Because when you sit like the lower bowl first level, I find myself watching the Jumbotron a lot.
Yep.
Whereas when you're like up just a little higher, you really are like you're watching just like inside the cage.
Yep.
So yeah, those are awesome. I was gonna say we'll do a little baseball too, and then I had a little NFL exercise. We'll just wrap up a little last night. I said the tank came in here bugging out. I bet the Dodgers and fell asleep in like the 9th inning and woke up to like just a pleasant surprise.
I had Freeman 2 bases. I won that immediately. I lost Ohtani 2 bases, but then I had the Mets plus 1.5, so that won by 1.
Huge.
Very nice.
And then
I think I gave out Mets money line here, but sometimes my brain just doesn't take things right away, and then I ended up just taking it live.
yeah,
Great. Those games have been very tight, very fun.
really good. Don't look now. Rockies are hot.
Rockies won a series.
They're
They're going for the sweep.
they're playing right now. They've already started.
They have the lead.
I almost bet them today.
Oh my God, if
I
they
thought about
sweep
it.
the Marlins, goodness
Wow,
me.
what a heater!
Holy
What a heater.
crap. We were talking if they were going to win a series, or they might make the playoffs at this point.
Wait, the Mets won 2 days ago, right? They beat the Dodgers.
Yes.
Because I was gonna say I said that us, the Mets, and the Reds are the only teams to not get swept yet in a series.
Huh. We haven't been swept?
No,
That's good.
we're the only. It's Yankees,
Right, we saved off the
Yankees,
Dodgers.
Mets, Reds. Only 3 teams that have not been swept yet.
Reds,
Yep.
that's
very random because they're decent, but I mean they're not.
they're just not like good. Like obviously,
Actually, I bet them yesterday. I'm on them today again. They start in like 20 minutes.
you know who I was on yesterday? I one of those things where like I picked it up right before the game started, but I wouldn't be able to see it hours before. Orioles. Loved the Orioles yesterday. Kirby just isn't good right now, and you got to take advantage of that. And they're as bad as the Orioles record is. Like I still see that lineup, and it's like Holiday, Gunnar, O'Hearn, like these guys can run into some balls here. Rutschman had a good game, and Shigano's actually been very good for them. They're the free agent they signed. But yeah, Yankees had a tight win. It wasn't the prettiest. Devin Williams certainly not making me feel comfortable in closing situations, but a win's a win. It's the Guardians. Jazz coming back. I love Jazz, by the way. Man, they're talking about him playing third. He gives the best answers. He loves New York. He loves Aaron Boone. Like, the numbers won't say he's like a superstar by any means. He's not. But, like, he's a valuable player. His defense, his base running, his pop, and just overall, just as an elite of a vibes guy as you're going to get is Jazz. So it's good to have him back. It makes the team better, no doubt.
That's a guy who appreciates. He was in Miami for however long.
Oh my God,
like, this place stinks.
Sucks.
And I still stand by. Like he very much was involved in that kind of like the
Rojas thing. Rojas. He was so right.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny where like he clearly turned out like, no, you guys all are just fucking losers, and this place is horrible.
Well, I think it was really mainly Miguel Rojas. He was a veteran shortstop.
An asshole.
Now the Dodgers, he was a true just veteran asshole who thought he was better than other people. And Jazz was a rookie, and he wasn't going to take his shit. And Rojas was just a dickhead trying to like haze him or whatever. I don't even know if what you call hazing. It's more just bullying. And Jazz wouldn't stand for it. And yeah, I mean, once you lay out all the facts of what went down there, and then you're seeing how they've split since, Jazz was in the right. Jazz was not an asshole there.
You know, he was a guest on Fat Joe and Jadakiss' podcast.
I think I saw that. Yeah,
they had done maybe like 3 or 4 episodes. He was like one of the first like
incredible.
I just go on Instagram like clip, and I just see Jazz in the middle with the trombone chain.
I saw the clip, and then I was like, wait a second.
Trumpet,
is that Jazz?
Saxophone.
I saw the clip like what you're doing, and I was like, wait, hold on. That's Jazz Chisholm in the middle there. Yeah. Right there. And one last thing, Paul Skenes. I don't know what this guy.
Wasted.
8 innings.
We were both on the Astros.
That was a good. It felt good to win that.
It was tough. Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, what was it? They scored in the 6th, was it? I think the 6th. It was 0-0 until the 6th.
Yeah.
Or the 7th, maybe 6th or 7th.
But like, man, 8 innings, 1 run, gets the L. He's 4-6 on the year with a 205.
Call that to DeGrom.
Truly DeGrom. He's truly just DeGrom.
Oh man,
Poor fella.
it's tough because like I get annoyed even now just a little bit. It's like when I want him to come to the Yankees, obviously, like the trade, this and that, but like when he keeps the more and more of these he has, the more and more it's gonna get talked about.
It's gonna get talked about. Yep. 100%.
And we're like sitting here talking about like he's in arbitration for probably like 4 years, 5 years.
He's got some time.
So long.
He's got some time.
How old is he? 24? Because he obviously did college for like a few years. Probably 23.
Yeah, he's 23.
Okay, that makes sense.
He just turned 23.
Okay. So
He's got
still young, but
he's got. I mean, time until he's hitting things. Like
but that's gonna be tough on him because obviously he's so great. Like he's gonna get the contract as long as things don't like really like fuck up for him. I'm not gonna win it on his behalf.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, but I mean he's got one contract.
dude. He's got.
He's like Judge. That puts him out like he's got one big contract.
That's why it's like a tough system in baseball to get paid. Like if you can get there, if you get to free agency, it's beautiful, generational wealth. You don't have to worry about money ever again in your life. But man, can things go wrong? It's a long time until you get paid. Now, and that's why like teams take these early deals now, and they're just like, I don't want to fuck around for 5 years and see what happens to me. Like, so they take these $100 million for 5 years, just like I got money. I got money in my pocket. I don't have to worry about things for a little bit, and then maybe you can get the even bigger one. So remains to be seen if he's. I don't think he's going to sign that with the Pirates, but in terms of ARB, I think he's got 26 and 27 before or pre-ARB years, so he doesn't hit arbitration until 2028. So he's not a free agent until 2031.
I was like 30. Oh my god.
So yeah, it's
Crazy to say out
a
loud.
long fucking time to get there.
Obviously, the Suns still don't have any first round picks by then.
Nope, not a single one.
Obviously, quick. We'll do. I want to do NFL for a little bit. We're in that time where it's like still the calm before the storm, but summer's here. Mixing a little NFL every now and then. Well, the dead time. Obviously, I guess quick would tell. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know hockey. If you know any more than me, feel free to give any thoughts on. Obviously, Stanley Cup Finals start tonight.
My only vibe, I just like Florida. Like I look at those odds and I think I see McDavid's the sexy name and the odds.
A revenge spot.
Edmonton is home tonight and minus 135 or something like that. 140.
Is it even that much? I thought it was lower than that. I thought it was minus like 115.
I thought the series price is that. Oh, you might be right. It's 120. I see 120 here.
Yeah, 120.
Okay. So
over under 6.5.
I like Florida in the game, but I won't. Again, I will not be the guy. So, lie to you about my hockey knowledge. I'll watch. Obviously, I'm excited for it. But yeah, I don't know shit. But I'll bet Florida.
I figured I'll say just so people aren't like the finals aren't even talking about it. That's us talking hockey, folks.
Yeah, it's talking hockey.
But I would say I want to do. It's that time of year. Summer, I like to mix in some NFL stuff, some college stuff. I'll do some college stuff. We'll do like Win Total Wednesday down the line. I got this kind of our own little version of Win Total Wednesday, a little preview Win Total Wednesday. I figured just go through. Obviously, we've had the draft. Free agency has happened. There'll obviously be a few more moves here and there, but a lot of things have happened at most point. The dust is generally settled around most teams.
Besides
roster construction, yeah, besides Rodgers, but I don't know. I just don't see a world where he doesn't go to the Steelers. I'm like, besides unless he just says I don't want to play.
The only reason
I just feel like if the Steelers, if they were going to get sick of him, I feel like they would have done it by now in the sense of like him waiting. Like I feel like they clearly have they're clearly just down to wait.
There's no one else on the team to play quarterback. Really, they're not.
I think
they're not playing the Ohio State kid. Like he's not starting.
No. I mean, he would have to just truly be like that good that he beat out Rudolph.
That's not at a couple of years.
I don't think. Trust me, I don't think you're drafting a 6th-round pick to start.
And I don't think you're trading for DK Metcalf to have no one throw to him.
I don't think so. I think it would be Cousins. Like I think if he's not the move, like if Rodgers isn't the guy, I think it would be Cousins.
You shouldn't do that. Cousins is. You want to think Rodgers is washed? Look at Kirk Cousins. He can't. Comical to watch.
He was someone who. I thought as he healed from the Achilles, he almost looked worse.
The miles per hour on his throws seem to go down every week.
The game that really stood out to me, and this is like gambler brain in me as well, but it just stood out so much, was they at home played the Chargers. I believe he threw 4 or 5 interceptions, maybe at least 1 pick six. And I think they lost by like 1 or like 3. I just remember watching the game being like, if they had a pulse at quarterback, like they win this game by 2. They win this game like in a breeze.
The interceptions
were so much
ugly.
better.
They're very ugly to watch.
They were bad, like a couple really, really bad ones. Like, what are you doing throws?
Yep.
It's funny. I was thinking about. I don't think there's any quarterback that like changed teams that people are like excited about.
Let me think.
Like really, so the list would really be like. Obviously, I don't think anyone Giants are excited about Russell Wilson. Like
Jets fans excited about Fields.
I think they're like. I think they're thinking like it's gonna be fun. And I'm a Fields guy. I'm a Justin Fields forever guy. I will ride till the day I die. But I understand his limitations. I also just think that, like, the Steelers was like a good fit. Like, Jets, not good fit. Like, things might go bad there. Just they go bad for everyone. And things, a guy that maybe can't throw that well, they might go really badly. But I mean, Darnold to the Seahawks, I'm like the most. I don't know if you'll find a more anti-Darnold guy in terms of like where I think people even see him after last year and where I think he really is. I just think he's bad.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show. Like,
I just don't believe in him.
It feels like a guy who shouldn't have left the Vikings system. Like, he's perfect. He was perfect for that system.
But I also think he's a guy who they didn't. I don't think they wanted him back for the money he was going to get.
Yeah, and also they saw how the year ended, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
I just think that's really more the guy. Like, I think the guy you saw at the end of the year, that's truly the guy. Because even, I'm sure you remember as like a Packers fan, I think they had a couple of games like this where he would score so much early, and then they couldn't do anything after. Like, I know the one Packers game they jumped out like 21-0 or something like that.
We nearly
but that was a common
Yeah.
but it was a common theme where they would always score a touchdown the first drive.
Yeah.
And then they'd score maybe like once or twice this game, but their defense was good enough. They'd hold up, and he was clutch. Like, I remember he had a big clutch throw against the Seahawks that like they won a game. I was coincident him being on the Seahawks now. But I don't know, I'm just not a believer. Like, I just don't think he's that good. I think he's more like he's like I said, like 16 to like 25 more than he is like top 15.
Yep.
The one people don't agree with me on this at all. I said just the other day, I'm a Geno Smith guy. I really am. So them, I'm actually like intrigued by. Like with Pete, I think Pete Carroll's great. I love Pete Carroll.
I like Pete.
I know he's old, but still, I just
Fascinating to see him. That's more of like, that's really there's no quarterbacks to be excited about. There's some coaches I'm excited to new change of scenery people.
Who are you? Are you a Ben Johnson believer?
I'm fascinated to see how I hope he fails.
Fair as a Packers fan, it's fair.
But I'm fascinated to see how that unravels, and because Caleb doesn't have ground. I mean, it's so early in Caleb's career, but if he doesn't play well with Ben Johnson, if we see the same shit, then it's like, it's really all you now. It's similar to Herbert, right? They got Harbaugh. It's like, well, why aren't you winning games?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all of a sudden it's like there's no more excuses built in. So like that almost like I'm not fascinated more of like Ben Johnson, but more of like that situation.
They also improved them. They invested a lot in the offensive line.
They should be way better.
And that was I don't even say excuse. Like, I do think that was a big part of it. But I think Williams has plenty to blame. Like, he holds the ball way too long.
That fucking Lions game. Was it Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
It just can't happen, man.
See, that to me, that one was tough because to me, that's also, I think that's more on the coach. I think it's on him as well. There's definitely if there's I guess I remember getting into like a little, not spat, but just a little discourse on Twitter about it with the football people. And just kind of like where the blame pie goes in that. And to me personally, I think it's like 75 coach, 25 quarterback. Because to me, I think he's a young quarterback. He should know the time better than to be like changing the play with like the clock is literally rolling as I'm doing.
Now, does that start with coaching?
But to me, the coach, there has to be a point where he needs to just be like, hold on, like timeout. Even if you burned an extra 10 that you shouldn't have, you got to like cut your loss together. All right, that 10's gone, but like we got to keep this 20 we still have.
But that's more what I'm saying.
And run a play.
That stuff now should be cut out because you have a real coach.
It should be.
If it's still going on, then what the fuck are we doing? So that's more of an interesting.
And Jonah Jackson, Tooney, they signed the center too from Atlanta. I forget his name, but something man.
Should be way better.
So the offensive line's better. Should be better at least.
That division is a cunt. It's the only way to describe it.
It is tough. It is. I'm trying to think what other coaches I'm really like excited about in terms of. Is Ben Johnson, the only reason I kind of feel like it's not going to work is just because everyone seems to think it's going to be like this great thing and like he's this guru that's going to change it. I don't know. I remember the Bears fans. I had like a little rant about it here, and Bears fans went like nuts on me about it. But I don't know. It's not even like me hating on the Bears. It's more just it just seems to be it always is like this. Oh, this is like the guy that's gonna save it. And then it just never turns out.
Yeah, I also hope Aaron Glenn sucks in New York. It would be so funny if he's just a bad coach.
See, Glenn I like. Like
I do, but I'm saying
I like his like mentality.
If the Jets stink, just like absorbs him. In theory, Glenn should be a good hire for them.
I like Glenn as like a guy. Like I think Glenn's a good coach.
Like, he should change the culture, but if he can't, it's just so funny.
Tough, man.
What do you think about Vrabel?
I'm a huge Vrabel guy.
Vrabel's great, man.
Huge Vrabel guy.
The Patriots should be a whole lot better this year.
Yeah. Definitely. The Dig shit is so funny.
Dig shit is bad.
It's just like so.
But it feels like he's a good coach to handle it.
Definitely.
He ain't gonna get.
I just wonder if he's the kind of guy where it's gonna like I wonder where Vrabel truly lands, and like he is like a no nonsense guy, but it's also like it's not like he's like breaking the law. Like he's out on a boat with a bunch of women, like, and one of them's like his girlfriend.
Right.
He's just like smacking her ass. Like I don't think that's like, you know what I mean? Like it's not some like obviously handing her a bag of what allegedly appeared to be maybe drugs.
Yeah.
But also again, it wasn't him taking them.
Not that we know of.
That we know of. Like this is all just things that there's just camera things that are.
But more coach Liam Cohen, Jaguars. That guy.
Oh, that one. I think that might be the most. I'm the most intrigued by that one.
Just a weird cat.
He's a weird guy, but people say he's a great offensive guy.
Yeah.
He has bounced around a ton. Like he was at Kentucky, then he's back, then like all this, and then obviously, I mean, it's a massive year, couple of years for Trevor Lawrence. Like, is he really? Like, what is he really? I think
This is it, man.
People are very split on him. I think at this point. I think he, to this point, has not lived up to what everyone thought he was going to be. This, like, can't miss, otherworldly John Elway, Peyton Manning type prospect.
Yeah. All I think of Trevor Lawrence, obviously, he did have the comeback, but playing.
That season, he was very good.
That season, he was good. But all I think of is, like, amping myself up a little bit to bet him in London and getting really disappointed. That's kind of just how I sum up Trevor Lawrence. It's like, why can't you even win these games?
There's still a part of me that wants to like buy stock, like
I mean because
it's so
good at Clemson.
But it's even little things I see watching the Jaguars where I'm like, man, like he's throwing some good balls. This team sucks. Like they can't stop a nosebleed.
But then there's other times where it's like, what the fuck was he doing?
Fair, no, he definitely makes his mistakes and like has his errant throws. But I really like it's. I almost feel bad for guys sometimes because I really do think it's so much more situation driven than like the average fan gives credit for.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's probably numerous guys going back, like, 20, 30 years that if they were on a different team, like, we would look at them so differently.
Our prime example is Mahomes with the Bears.
Yeah, oh, my God. Yeah, like,
Mahomes with Chicago Bear. Does anyone care about Patrick Mahomes right now?
Sure, and I'm sure even, like, a Trubisky, like, I bet, is he Mahomes with, like, say he went to the Chiefs, is he Mahomes? No, absolutely not even close.
Right.
But I bet he's, like, a starter still in the league.
Might be, 100%.
I bet like they were. I just think there's so many things like that, so many what ifs in like the NFL with quarterbacks that you kind of never really get to see come through. So I just believe in him as a player. So I would like just kind of want hopefully that this is the guy. This is
the Jags thing that's cool is this is probably the best receiver unit he's had to work with Brian Thomas Jr. and Hunter paired together.
Yeah, no, I would think so.
Those guys are going to be.
I think Brian Thomas is awesome. He's fucking incredible.
I'd sat out fantasy for like 10 years, and last year I took Brian Thomas, and I felt so smart the whole year. I'm like, that's my guy. I'm so
and
happy.
Even the thing I appreciate about him too is even later in the year, like they're like, all right, they have one guy, and they still like they couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him.
And now they have Hunter. It's like, hey, you're gonna have it easier.
They've all been saying. I almost wonder how much. I think he's gonna play more corner.
Really?
I think he's definitely going to play receiver. I'm confused now because when they drafted him, I was like, oh, he's going to play a lot of receiver. Mm-hmm. And then they've said so much, like I've seen so many Cohen quotes and like things out of the like mini camp, whatever, that they're like, oh, like he's just a fluid corner. Like this is like where he kind of.
They did have that play. It was going viral yesterday. I think it's just an unbelievable like play on the ball as a corner.
His ball skills are insane. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like his like catch radius for a guy who's like not super big is preposterous.
Yep.
But I just assumed, I think, and everyone kind of assumed, I think, just him being an offensive mind. Like, all right, we're drafting this guy to, like,
you would think
he's going to catch some balls. Yep. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe they really just let him do both.
I think it's going to play itself out and, like, whatever. I think it's just, you just got to have a few games and see where it's going. And, like, all right, we're going to lean this way, we're going to lean that way. Or we just play it both, and he's a fucking one of the greatest players of all time. One or the other. But I don't think you make any decisions right now. You just, like, see how he handles it.
This is a fascinating, like, I think this will be one of the more intriguing, like, rookie classes.
Yeah.
For all the talk about how, like, down it is in, like, talent, especially, like, skill position, like, I mean, like, quarterbacks, obviously. These are some guys that are, like, obviously, like, him, like, Shadur, obviously. People already, like, the like, mini camp Warriors already, like, he's quarterback one. And I'm a Shadur guy, for the record. I don't know how much me and you have talked about that personally.
Yeah.
I'm a big Shadur guy. I have been for, like, the last 2 years. I think he's really good.
I think it's evident that he should not have been drafted he should have been drafted earlier, obviously.
I would have taken him, like, I'm a believer. Like, I really, really think he's, like, the real deal. I think he's legit.
The Browns might have lucked themselves into something, but it's also the Browns.
Actually, would be hilarious where I think that was 100% a pick where Haslam was like, you're taking him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. I mean, the clip of even them drafting him after their last pick was a quarterback.
Yep.
who also was hysterical because Gabriel is like I'm sure he's like a nice guy. Anyone who like knows anything about football, watch college football. This guy, there's just no way.
There's no shot.
He'd be a really good NFL quarterback. He's just small, not even close to athletic enough to make up for his shortcomings.
A bunch of injuries in college, right?
He had a couple early on. He was pretty healthy at Oklahoma, or excuse me, at Oregon.
But before that,
no, UCF, he had some injuries.
Concussions
Oklahoma.
and stuff, I feel like.
I remember like I was watching the game live. He took a insane hit at UCF and was out for a while.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma, he might have missed like a couple of games, but he was pretty healthy the last couple of years. I just think he's not that good. I think he's a good college quarterback. I just think
he's just your perfect guy that's like stayed really long in college.
Yeah.
And there's a reason he did that, and now it's not going to work in the NFL.
Like
he got
so tiny.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a guy, I feel like he's not, for example, even like a Kyler Murray, who's obviously like small for a quarterback, but he's still like built solidly. And not to say like Gabriel's like super skinny, but you just see like he stands next to like average foot. Like he would stand next to me and you, and like he would just look like normal.
Yep.
Like clearly you'd look at the three of us and be like, that's the athlete of the three.
Right.
But like he's like normal height. He's like very like not super like built for like a smaller guy. Like he's just like a very such an average guy. I don't know. That one just I just can't wrap my head around it to this day. We're at Marty's wedding and that was all going on. I still was just like, how did this man go in the third?
Wild.
Because I was even like, how could he go over like Will Howard and like some of these other like obviously riding for my guy, but there was like numerous other guys.
When that name popped up, it was like, all right, what the fuck are we doing?
Like I would much prefer Ewers over him. I'd much prefer like a lot of these guys over him.
I agree. I agree with that.
Ewers is someone sneaky. Miami, the 7th round. Okay. He's someone I don't think he'll ever be like good, but he's someone that I think could last in the league a long time.
Okay.
And he's also someone who I actually like hope it works out for him because a lot of talk that he turned down a fuck ton of money to play college football.
Do we ever find out who that's from?
So I think
my rumor was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame was like the big one. I think Miami, like obviously they ended up with Beck, but I think they would have been very interested in Quinn Ewers. Another one who I think would have been fascinating is I think Ohio State would have been intrigued.
Bring him back.
He played for us. Like obviously the two guys we have competing for the job have like not really played, so I think they would have been like, hey, like maybe we'll go with this guy. We'll throw him some money and see. Like Day was who recruited him. He played for Day. So even like when we played Texas, he was like the whole week was like so complimentary of Ohio State and like Day and everything. So I thought that had a chance. But there was rumor that he turned down like $8 million, which I don't think is like I think that's possible.
Who the fuck is his agent?
I think it would have been Notre. Yeah, I mean he signed like a 3-year like $3 million contract probably less.
What are you doing, man?
7th round, he almost went undrafted. I guess some guys I get it where it's like you want to move on, but that's
like
so much.
Like I don't want to go to.
That is so. But even in football, like. You just have to like pass.
Yeah.
He also would be like a grad student or whatever. He would just have to like, because you just need to be eligible for like the playoffs. Like you just need to be academically eligible.
Yeah.
Also, that's the funny thing with college. I feel like we've randomly heard some. I've never heard of that with football, and I guess it's because it's always one semester.
What?
Like there have been guys who've like fucked up with like eligibility, like academically. Like I remember that being a thing way back. I feel like that's not a thing anymore because you just like cheat and make sure the guy doesn't fail if he's any good. But I remember that being a thing with like I remember, for example, I remember Ben Simmons talking about it when he was in college. Mm-hmm. They did a little documentary on him, which, by the way, made me like despise him. He's like the absolute worst, and I'm sure this is why things have turned out for him the way it has because he's a selfish asshole. But he was very much like in the fall semester of his freshman year, he was like, I just need to pass this year, and then like I'm not even going to class the second semester because like the season will end by the time the second semester ends, so I don't need to like I know I'm going to the NBA.
Amazing.
Like by the time I'm going to be like getting ready for the draft when like finals are happening. Like I'm just not like literally just past the first semester so I can just play the second semester.
That's hilarious.
And it was just like I'm not doing anything. I'm barely like I think he was like enrolled, but he just like I'm not doing anything. I'm not going.
Different world, man.
Yeah, wild.
Oh.
I mean, I guess good for him. He somehow ended up he's worth like $200 million.
Yep. And
just a total shitbag. But I would say so. You guys. Barstool New York basketball. We'll wrap up. I'll save the win total Wednesday thing with NFL for tomorrow. Well,
we do it tomorrow.
We'll talk NBA Finals. I promise we'll do the win total thing.
We'll talk some puck.
Yeah, we'll talk a little hockey. We'll recap obviously whatever happens tonight.
Yep.
Some baseball. But we'll give quick. You want to talk about the Barstool basketball game?
Don't play something.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. So we're playing Kirk's team on Monday. And it's going to be something. We did a little bit of a practice the other day. We didn't have like a full squad out there. We were just getting some run outs.
Can we say what the squad is? Is that like, is it still being like tweaked? We don't have to. I'm curious.
No, I think we know the squad.
Obviously, people know who played like last time if you watched last time.
Yeah, it's a little different than last time just based off availabilities and, who's here still. But it's me, Mush, Pat is involved this year.
Oh, he didn't play last time.
Pat didn't play last time, but we don't have Dana's not playing.
Oh, it's a big loss. Need that height, though. That's good to have the height.
I think he picked up an injury or something. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows with him? Rico, I believe, is playing.
That's quite the drama with Gus from last year.
Quite the drama.
That'll be something.
Those minutes will have to be monitored. John Rich, I believe, is on the team. Ken Jack is on the team. I think he's more of like an assistant coach role, but maybe he's going to get some few minutes there. Clemmer's the coach. So we got one more time with him, one last dance. Nick Mulcahy, he's great. He's one of our Jetski. Jetski did not play the last time. He's been on our team.
Probably the best pure athlete, or the speed jumping ability.
I compare him to like Westbrook. Like
fair.
And I think he would agree. Like it's sometimes out of control, but man, when it's going, it's like
when it's good, it's really
get
good.
out of the way. There's a lot coming at you there. And obviously myself, I might be missing one person, but that's basically it. I think last time we had Tommy. I don't think Tommy's playing this time around.
But it seems maybe the KMS squad got better.
Am I forgetting anybody? I don't think so. But yeah, no, not even better, but there's more of them. There's like 15 guys in this roster.
Deep roster.
Deep roster. Gonna have fresh. It's gonna be like Pacers Knicks type deal where like they can beat us with pace maybe.
Okay.
But, yeah, man. Kirk's really good. They've got a few guys. I think I'm butchering some names, but I think there's a guy from Providence. Everyone's like Matt from Providence or someone.
That's
from Worcester.
The ringer. That's their guy.
I don't know if his name's Matt, but like the way all these guys go, it's like Ken from Worcester and Matt from Providence.
Isn't Beanbag Ron a good ball player?
Beanbag Ron,
good ball player.
Me and Beanbag Ron that guy has endless energy. I was on him last.
That's
game.
a guy you like to have on your team. That's like that endless energy guy is a guy like you hate playing against him, but you just love when he's like on your team.
It was fun guarding him. It was like a good test of like endurance, and I pride myself in my defense. So we'll be, I'm sure, matched up again. Beanbag Ron, endless energy, their point guard. He can get, if he's going on offense, he can be a problem. But yeah, I think they have a guy from Providence who's very good. He's new to the team. Kirk is obviously very good. They've got a few guys around there.
What time is the game on Monday?
I think it's 7:30.
It'll be live streamed.
I believe so.
And I believe that it's for RIP Cinema Lords.
His brother is on the team.
KMS Lore, he's been on the show a bunch, so RIP to him. Apparently his family's going to be there. We wish them all the best. Our condolences. And
the whole crowd's going to be against you guys.
100%.
You guys are good enemy territory.
I want to say it was around like 75 people last time, and that was something too, just experience. I shockingly played well. I'm never confident in my game, but I hit a few.
I forgot Marty hit a bunch of threes.
Marty hit a bunch of threes. I hit a few, and yeah, we were kind of winning the whole game. But when they made like a little bit of a run, I think they went like an 8-0 run in the middle of the game. Me and Marty looked at each other, and the crowd was going nuts. We're like, what the fuck? This is a wild environment, and I think it's gonna be double the crowd, and it should be quite the experience. Yeah, in road enemy territory. I
can't wait to watch.
Get a
little preview into the finals.
Yeah,
little appetizer for the finals.
Guess so, man.
Finals game 2 or 3.
It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be fun. I love playing basketball. It's gonna be a great time. The announcers are great too. They're an added element.
That's right. They are very good. Shout out the announcers. They are really, really good.
So it should be something. Tune in Monday night. It should be great.
What do you got for picks?
So we got a big French Open tennis match starting in an hour and 15 minutes. Alexander Zverev against Novak Djokovic. It's in the quarters of the French Open, and it's very fascinating because the line is even. It's 110-110. So you're just picking a winner. I'm taking Novak. Both guys have played like shit this year, but I think Novak has breezed through enough matches here to not tire himself out, so he's going to be in pretty good physical shape, and he is the clutcher player. He is the better player late in slams. He is not the same Novak as you know him to be. He is older, and this could be, honestly, his final year of playing tennis. But I just don't trust Zverev at all in slams, in winning big matches. He is not a guy to hold on to his nerves. He's probably the better player, but I think Novak, I take the mentality part of it. So I'm taking Novak there. I believe he's minus 115.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Angels one last time because I've taken them the first 2 of this series, and Boston is kind of just a mess, and Giolito just puts the ball down the middle. So I'm going to take the Angels here, plus 120. And then what else do we have here? Anything else that stands out? Man, I was on the Blue Jays last night. They were down 7-0 right away. That stunk.
Yeah.
That was not really what I had intended here. I'm going to ride them. They're even money tonight with Barrios on the bump. So give me the Blue Jays, even money. And anything else, I'm scrolling here. Give me the Orioles, minus 110. They're in Seattle. I don't love Hancock. Emerson Hancock, not a good pitcher. So, yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I actually was.
In Florida. Sorry, the Panthers in the Stanley Cup.
Actually, crazy. I was a Devin Williams run away from being 7-0 last night. Actually, 8-0. I didn't tweet. I had the Royals
run line
earlier. Yeah, I had the run line. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Great. I had a good. I needed it because I was horrible the night before.
Yeah.
I'm on. It already started. If you want to jump in live, you still can. The second inning's about to end. I got Reds minus 130. The second inning's about to be over. It's 0-0. I'm on the Angels as well, plus 115. I'm on the Phillies. I got a minus 112 earlier. I'm on the Rays minus 130. I'm on the Giants minus 105. And that's all for tonight.
Wait, I think
I'll
the
tweet it out later.
Suns hired a coach.
Who'd they hire? No shit.
Jordan Ott from the Cavs.
Well, there we go.
They hired a different assistant coach.
There we go. We got a lot of time to hire Johnny Bryant then.
Yeah. All right. So maybe Giant was like, nope, not doing this.
He might.
Somebody else, that could be a good sign.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Very, very
Jordan Ott, I can't say it. So it's Suns. Booker was involved in the search process during the final stages and stamped Ott as the top choice as well. He's been in NBA coaching status with the Hawks, Nets, Lakers, and Cavs since 2012.
So they're really not getting rid of Devin Booker. No. Let's let him pick the fucking coach.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
All right, Johnny Bryant, you're the driver's seat.
Maybe he's the guy. That's Pick Central. Shout out everyone watching. Shout out Hub. Shout out Jason. Shout out Liam. Appreciate everyone watching. Like the stream. We'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, we'll do a lot of NBA Finals tomorrow. We'll do the win totals tomorrow with the NFL. God bless.
Hey, boys.
See you tomorrow.